So, Cam, you've obviously you're publishing a book, and you wrote this and you illustrated it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's some manga shit.
Yeah. Well, I think like graphic novel is probably my favorite genre of book.
Yeah, me too.
It's definitely the book like types that have consumed loved the most. And so I'll show you on screen actually. Yeah, so this is it. I'm super proud. Comes out in like 3 weeks. But yeah, you can sort of see like there's a nice
So what's it called?
combination. Oh, it's called Your Head is a Houseboat, a chaotic guide to mental clarity. And the whole thing is basically just a big kind of bizarre and an imaginative journey into the center of your brain told through like metaphor.
That's cool.
Thanks, man. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You can sort of see like the combination of art and words just all kind of like dancing around.
No, I love that. I think that's really cool. I think also it's super accessible because a lot of people really struggle to read. Like, you know,
me too. Yeah.
People feel stupid for doing it, but I'm an avid reader, but I only got there because I started with like comic books. And
Dude,
I think you need to learn to read, like actually. Like you learn to read, but then you need to learn to how to consume like a fucking novel. It takes a long time to
So true.
be able to sit
like,
down and go through a book.
I look at like my fiance and she can just read anything. She can pick up a book and in like 5 days it's done. And I'm like, what? That like
Yes.
after half a year, I'm like, I have started 3 books and I've gotten 8 pages through all of them. And I don't know, like, it's just, but you're so right about graphic novels. Like that is exactly how I trained myself to read more. So.
Yeah, and I think that using phones makes it harder to read because it lessens your attention span. I actually notice, like as someone who loves reading, when I use my phone heaps, if I'm working a lot, I'm using my phone a lot, I can't read for longer periods of time. Like I remember I got to a point where I was reading 1 book a week. And then, I was reading 1 book a week. And then I got really busy, started using my phone a lot. And then I started going down to like, now I can do maybe 1 a month, probably even less than that. And I think it's phones because it just makes your brain go, nah, reward.
Right. I totally get that. Well, it's like working on projects as well. When you work on something where you don't have to post or you don't get to post it for like a year and you're like there's something in you that gets to the end of whatever that day. Like you would have found this with Death Threats Don't Scare Me or something where you get to the end of the day of working on it and you'd be like, and nothing. There is no reward. I am just slightly closer to the end of the goal.
Yeah. And then even like a giant project like that took months, that was like my life. And then the end of it, you have like a fucking amazing day. And then after it, when the project is done, you're like, oh, what's now what am I doing with my life? What's going on now? I guess I'll make a YouTube video? Oh.
Yeah, right?
That feeling
TikTok?
is like the most shallow feeling in the world. It's the never-ending pit of just like every creative is like you get to one goal and then you're like, huh. It sounds so... It makes you seem like an asshole though, because other people would love to achieve what you have and then you get to there and you're like, all right, well, I worked really hard, so I guess I did that.
I read a really interesting thing about like creative motivation that I think that Luke and I have done accidentally, or like we've just worked out by trying and failing. And I think that what I read was your level of creative effort needs to be slightly less than the reward that you get from putting it out, because otherwise, if your effort is here, and
is that why all your videos suck?
Oh yeah.
No, but it's why that I started making them less good, because I would put so much effort into it and I would kill myself over it, and then it would come out and I would dread starting the next one because it was so difficult to get done.
I watched 2 of your videos last night. So last night I just binged YouTube because I haven't had time to watch it in 2.5 weeks because I've been touring, right? So I just haven't been on the internet. I realized I hadn't looked at my subscriptions in about 3 weeks, which is probably a good thing. So
That's
it means
nice,
I
'cause you
went
get to
through
see
and
them
watched
jump.
the shit I actually wanted to watch because I was like, don't have time for all these. I watched my few. So I watched a couple of your ones because I wonder what Lewis has been doing in Tasmania. And they were good. Like, they were funny. I was laughing and I could not even notice a quality difference at all. It's just, Lewis is talking about something again.
Yes.
Isn't that what all your videos were anyway?
Well, yeah. Like that's what I realized is like you need to make the level of effort low enough that you can do it consistently, which makes you better without burning yourself out. Because the reality of it is no one actually gives a fuck other than you. Like I reckon you can get your audience to care about one, maybe two big things: Cam's book, our shows, my comedy special, stuff like that. One or two big things a year. Other than that, they just want to be entertained, and that's all you can really expect from them. You know, that's what we're there for, is just go, hey, I'm going to entertain you for 10 minutes. They got 10 minutes. That's not the end of the world. So you stressing over it heaps and going, fuck, doesn't really help anyone.
No.
That's so true. Yeah, because I'm blown away by your output, Lewis. Like, just having seen you over the years do things like where, like, I feel like from me watching you, it's like something will happen and then you'll be like, okay, I'll chase this for a while. Like the real talks, like when you're like, this is what I'm chasing for a while. And then you'll like, you know, jump back on YouTube and you're like, I'm pumping this for a while. Or then like you'll get back on your show and you're like, I'm pumping this for a while. And I'm like, so fascinating from like, I guess somebody who's doing something similar to watch you, who is quite explicit in having strategy.
Yeah.
I feel like, particularly in Australia, I think people are like, there's a bit of a taboo on like wanting success or wanting fame or wanting.
I think that's pathetic. I don't want fame.
No.
That's not my goal. But I think fame comes with this,
for the record.
obviously. I think that I wouldn't turn my nose up at it, obviously, because that's just a signifier of success. But I think that's a big problem with Australian culture, is that trying and going, I want to achieve that, is almost looked down upon by other people, which I think is really weird. Like, I think that's what's a cool thing about it.
Syndrome.
Yeah.
You can't achieve anything in this country. Everyone's like, oh, you're trying to follow your dreams. Fuck you.
You see it all the time. Like, when I went to America, that was probably quite a big culture shock, where I would just hear dreams all the time and people go, that's cool, I want to do this. You never, ever hear that here.
Yeah, I feel like the culture is slightly changing because like the internet celebrates it, and now we're spending more time on the internet than we are in our country.
Our culture's slowly becoming more American, because that's where culture with
the good and the bad
from. Yeah, good and bad. You know, you've got the oh, you can do it mentality, and then you've got the hey, let's take horse medicine. You know, you got to take the good and the bad.
So many people, like I've seen all those like sovereign letters coming out, and they literally start with "We the people," and I'm like, "You're Australian." That's like literally the American Constitution. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, gotta love like dumb people trying on Loyally Talk.
Yeah, they've definitely just watched like a bunch of like American legalese, which would work there, but like you might as well be speaking a different language. Like, that's not the rules we have.
I object. Yeah.
Campbell, one thing I wanted to know is how long do your videos take? Because you put little animations in them and stuff, and I assume you do that all yourself, right? So it's like there's two parts. There's editing the normal video and then going over and adding little animations. Is that days?
Well, I definitely, like, unknowingly, I guess I do what Lewis just talked about, which is like a shittier version of my animation style, like way shittier. Like, it's all like stick figures and, you know, basic digital stuff. But yeah, I guess like usually they might take 3 days, I would say. Yeah, but they're like 3 quite full days.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes longer. Yeah, but that's probably what they average to.
Crazy for like a YouTube video. Like, I was watching them going, oh, this must take forever. This is so good. Really high quality.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah,
it's so cool.
How long do you guys take to edit
stuff?
Well,
I have downstairs, I got 2 people that are working for me. So I would say that maybe they take 2 days, but condensed into one, because 2 people are working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why I've managed to create so much stuff, is because I'm like, all right, well, the task I've set for just myself is impossible, so I need help.
I think like I do, like, say if I do videos where like review The Bachelor, we might have like 2 hours of footage by the end of it, and then I condense that down to like 10 to 15 minutes, and that probably takes me like 2.5 days, and that's full days, like 2 10-hour days, and then thumbnail upload. The process takes a long time. People don't realize once you finish the video, you haven't finished the video, because then you have to make a thumbnail, post it, promote it, and then if you really want to have it go well, you got to clip it up and put some of it on TikTok and Instagram. And really, the video is half the work.
It really is.
Yeah. TikTok is like short clips is becoming its own job. Like, literally at Luke and Lewis, we have a guy. His only job is to make short clips. Like, that's his whole job. And it's
how many people do you guys have in your ecosystem?
Between the 2 of us,
there's 3 or 2, and then
there's like 5.
Wow.
Probably.
5, maybe.
Yeah.
Nice. That's sick.
It's really cool. Like, I think it's, you know what's really cool is being able to give someone like a cool, good, fulfilling job. I hope, anyway.
Totally. Yeah. Fingers
because
crossed.
I've had terrible jobs, you know, and I always hated them, and I always wanted something cool. So it's, you know, like to, you know, give that to someone else. I hope.
No, totally.
I think the only reason why like we have to get other people to do it for us is because like I've been, you know, doing shows. I did 7 shows this week of my own hour since Thursday to Sunday. I did 7 shows, so we have like no time to do other shit. I was just exhausted all weekend.
I think like stand-up is being stand-up and being a YouTuber is actually 2 completely separate jobs. Like there's some crossover in terms of being funny, but that's kind of it. It's like everything else is completely different skill sets and the amount of effort you need to put in. So I think that if I was just a YouTuber, I could probably do a lot of the stuff myself, but I'm stand up first and foremost. Do you kind of view yourself as something before all of the other shit that you do? Because that's an interesting thing about being a creative is whether you're a musician or a fucking even like a Olympic athlete, you also have to be a social media influencer now. So
totally.
What do you see yourself as? And then all the other stuff just feeds
first and foremost, probably illustrator. Yeah. First and foremost, like I feel like a cartoonist.
Yeah.
And then everything else, like, I mean, I literally started making videos because I had this idea which I tried to draw into a comic. I'm like, there are too many moving parts. And so I turned on the camera and just explained it with like images popping up. And I was like, that was cool. And then I just kind of kept doing that. So like, that's where it all came from. But yeah, I'd say illustrator first. And then everything else has just kind of stemmed from there. Like, I guess animation stems from there pretty like... Obviously.